What's up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Theo.
I'm here too.
I'm just going to let you do that from now on. I should know by now. I'm the host of Hot Commodity.
We're here with Ian Sky.
Joined with my own Hot Commodity. And we are covering WWE Monday Night Raw from May 5th, 2025. Happy Cinco de Mayo up in this beef.
I'm going to make pudding while we record.
Oh, fun. Pudding or Jell-O?
I'll do Jell-O too.
You will?
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't have to do both. Just do your pudding.
Well, the thing is, you're picky and you want layered Jell-O, different colors. It's going to take a while. I got to put it in each one in the fridge in between to let it settle.
Is my ice cream bar still decent? Yeah. We're talking about our real stuff.
Okay. We can go back to the store.
My heart is broken. We wasted money.
I'll put maybe another one.
I'm totally flabbergasted. No, you need I need you. I need you. I want you, oh baby, oh baby.
The Jell-O just won't be ready to eat tonight. That's the thing.
So make your pudding, and then I'll walk to the store if I have.
We'll walk together in a few minutes.
All right.
Anyway.
So we're live in Omaha, Nebraska. Happy Cinco de Mayo. And should just make his fucking pudding. I don't understand what he wants another ice cream. And we're kicking off this episode with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso coming out to the ring. He calls out, something that I listened to a podcast called Getting Over, and they talk about WWE and AEW, NXT, all that good stuff. And I didn't notice this because I fast forward through Jey Uso's fucking entrance because it's 10 minutes. But what they're doing now is they're like hand selecting kids from the crowd like before they go on air, and they basically have them stand with Jey Uso and like eat and stuff. And a lot of the people, well, not a lot of people, but one of the guys on the show was just saying that if they continue to make it like kiddish, it might get a little hokey. But I didn't really notice that. I just wanted to point that out. So he calls out Logan Paul. Logan Paul doesn't come out, but Paul Heyman does. Paul Heyman says, I wanted to come out to say something straight to the face of Jey Uso. Jey says, you have a lot of balls stepping in here after what you did to my family. Paul Heyman says, you're going to lecture me about betraying the tribal chief. Jey says, I saw past you and warned people about you. Paul says, you should have warned me about CM Punk. No one had to live what I had to live. He put me in a position that would sabotage my relationship with our tribal chief. Let's talk about your cousin. I had a dream with CM Punk before Roman Reigns got here. Did Roman Reigns think I would betray him? I built the bloodline for 5 years. I found a stray dog on the island of irrelevancy, and I turned him into the tribal chief. We were champion for 1,360 days, and I didn't blow it by getting beat by Cody Rhodes.
Quick input here. Paul Heyman is like screaming and crying as he's saying all this. Like, he is going through it while he's saying this.
Maybe like me if we can have sex. He says that Roman Reigns loses the title and disappears. He didn't come to avenge me after the Tongans and Solo put me through a table. He came to get his Ula Fala back. He goes, I'm always a scumbag, but not this time. He's freaking the fuck out.
Girl.
I'm right. Screw you. Jey says, are you okay?
And screw all of you, too.
Yeah. Jey says, are you okay? What does this have to do with me? Paul says, it has nothing to do with you. You won that title, but that title is about power and control. You don't know how to wield it. While you need to be champion and want it, Seth Rollins has to be champion. Braun Breaker was stage 1 of our plan. Stage 2 is that championship. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to let you pick the night you lose the championship because Seth Rollins challenges you for a match for the title. And Jey Uso says, let's get it on tonight. So, what are your thoughts?
Let's go somewhere and get it on
Tonight.
I think
Jordan.
I think that Paul Heyman had some definite points here. Um, CM Punk definitely put Paul Heyman in a bad spot just to stir the pot. And Roman Reigns, you know, it was true. Like, why, if he had just let Paul Heyman go out there for that one night and do his thing and get over his ego, like, everything would have went back to normal. Like, Paul Heyman beyond worship Roman Reigns.
But is that a good but is that, I guess my question is, like, it would be different if, like, he didn't join forces with Seth. But I guess my question is, like, we understand you're pissed because your friend screwed you over.
But they also did both put their hands on him, too.
Yeah, but Seth did, too.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, what is it about Seth that he sees that he needs to work with him?
Well,
with Brock, he was the Beast. With, who else was he with? CM Punk. Like, Seth Rollins is a big name, but, like, I don't know. I just feel like just because your friends screwed you over.
I hear you.
Because, like Paul's pissed. Like, he's snapping. And yes, when you're pissed, you do things that you would regret lately down the line. But, like he said, over 1,000 days as with Roman Reigns. And then just because Roman gets mad at you for wanting to join CM Punk or
it's almost like he did it to spite them. Because
petty.
Roman Reigns hates Seth. So does CM Punk.
We see Paul Heyman backstage with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. He tells Seth that Jay fell for it. Seth says, "I told you so." And then Braun Breaker kind of like acts confused as to what's going on, which was kind of dumb because
I don't think he was confused. It looked almost as if he was.
Well, Paul had to explain to him what was going on.
Yes, but it also kind of looked like he almost had a plan of his own for a minute. I don't know.
What getting over was saying that they thought would have been better with this situation was if he was just like walking backstage talking out loud and saw someone in the corner and was like, "Look at what I just did," I just think that, like,
they make Braun Breaker kind of.
And the thing that was dumb too was, like, I was thinking the same thing you were thinking, because, like, when he was just looking, like, it looked like he wasn't part of the plan, but then he, like, just smiled like huge after Paul told him. So it was just like, I don't know. If he was just like, if Paul told him and he just sort of like was like nodded his head and just stared, then you're like, okay, is he gonna turn? But when he just like smiled like that, it was just kind of like dumb. But anyways, we have JD McDonagh with Carlito and Finn Balor taking on Penta next. JD McDonagh DVDs Death Valley drivers Penta onto the ring apron. Carlito pulls at Penta's mask, and then Penta jumps onto both Carlito and JD McDonagh on the floor. Finn Balor pulls Penta off the apron. The ref kicks out the Judgment Day. Chad Gable then comes out and attacks Penta. Penta dives onto Chad, though, and then Penta hits JD with a Mexican destroyer. I sound like I'm just shooting.
Sound like you were from Boston for a minute.
Destroyer. With a Mexican destroyer. What'd you think? Toy.
Yeah. Just basic Penta stuff. I don't know. I still don't know my opinion of him yet.
Poor JD McDonagh's lungs.
Yeah.
He had lung surgery, man. But it was a decent match, Mm-hmm. And it was I just found it funny how how many people were going after Penta. Like, it was 3 dudes and he overcame all of them.
Yeah.
Well, 4 because he had.
I just think JD is like so funny to look at. Like, he looks like. I know I can't say this.
He does the jawbreaker too, and his fucking head's huge.
Yeah, he looks like a midget.
It's like a bobblehead.
I know.
His head's bigger than his body.
He looks like a little person, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but like but he's not a little person. His head looks. I don't know.
No, there's anything wrong with that. Fucking midgets. So we see Grayson Waller backstage with Adam Pearce, and he's mad he has to fight the singles match. And he's like, Austin Theory is my friend. I'm going to give him the singles match. And Theory's like, okay, cool. And then Pearce is like, all right, we'll find out who you're going to fight. And it turns out to be a returning Sheamus. So Waller didn't do. He did not do his friend any favors here. Sheamus lands 2 Irish curses. Austin Theory lands a rolling blockbuster for a 2 count. Sheamus hits 14 beats to the Bowery, and then a brogue kick, and Sheamus defeats Austin Theory.
Let me tell you something. Austin Theory is a little PYT, and he needs
Pretty young
thing. He needs to
think about
fuck and get rid of Grayson Waller and be the man again. We've all seen his little porn where he jerks off and fingers his butt.
Fun random fact.
No, he really does, by the way, people at home.
Yeah,
you can bing it.
He's cute.
He definitely has a porn where he jerks off and fingers himself. But I also don't like how he makes himself look weak. Like he could. I mean, trust me. I think Sheamus would whoop his ass in a real fight.
Mm-hmm.
But Grayson, Austin Theory was one of the longest running United States champions, and
right.
he was really good. And he needs to
he fought John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he needs to stop,
beat him.
He needs to stop looking like a pussy all the time.
He beat the WWE champion right now.
You know? And every week when they go to fight somebody, if it's somebody big, they're oh, and they whine about it. That's not Austin Theory. He needs to get on.
Austin Theory needs to come back out with his fucking cell phone and take the selfies of himself again. He took a selfie of his dick in those pictures.
That was a movie.
I just read somewhere. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off earlier. Karrion Kross right now has the 3rd top selling T-shirt on WWE Shop.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about him. There's a 45-minute
surpassing John Cena and Randy Orton.
Really? There's a 45-minute documentary of his week of WrestleMania because he did a one of those real blood sport fights.
Mm-hmm. So did Natalia. She was there. That was the same show.
Yeah, and
Natalia Neidhart.
He it's not cool. He was saying how he's getting used by WWE right now. They don't really utilize him. Sucks.
He was a former NXT champion too. We then see the Judgment Day backstage, and Liv Morgan isn't there because she's filming a movie right now. And basically, AJ Styles confronts the Judgment Day and confronts Dominik Mysterio. And Dominik is AJ refers to Finn Balor as the Prince, which was his former Demon Prince, the whole thing before he joined Judgment Day. So that's kind of maybe Styles is dude, why are you with them still? But anyways, Balor, Dominik's you have to fight Styles next week. And Balor's do I always have to fight your battles for you? Pissed.
Just kidding, mate.
Yep. And then,
I want him to them to fight. I want him to leave Judgment Day, come back as the Demon, and become the Intercontinental champion.
So, hang on, there's more to the story here. So, we do find out at Backlash, Dominik will defend the Intercontinental title against Penta. But what I found more important...
I keep finding random pieces of dry spaghetti on the bathroom floor.
Dry spaghetti? Mom spaghetti. Finn Balor was talking to Roxanne Perez backstage.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Maybe he's trying to get her in now that Liv is gone for a little bit.
I didn't see that. Was it just them in the background?
It was just them in the background talking.
Oh, okay. So it could have been.
Something else that happened. Oh, gosh. Seth Rollins. This is with Seth Rollins. I think it was Seth. Or maybe it was somebody else. I don't know who it was with. I have to go back. But someone's interviewed backstage, and there's a TV behind them. And there's the words "Light It Up," and that's the theme song of AJ Lee, "Light It Up," and Evolution. Yo, I will flip out if she's at Evolution too. But that's very far fetched. It was just those 3 words, "Light It Up."
I think we might see a Bella. We'll see Becky.
I will go to that show. It might be at Mohegan Sun.
It is at Mohegan Sun. I've seen it on TV.
They haven't announced it yet. They haven't even talked about it on WWE. They literally. I was just reading it today that people are pissed because they're it's only a couple weeks away. They haven't even announced it yet. Anyways, let's move on.
Can you buy tickets to it or no?
No.
Okay.
Becky Lynch comes out, and Becky says, I am the victim here with everything that's going on.
Sure.
Yeah, I took out Bayley, but when I came back, no one cared about Bayley. I took out the garbage. You should say thank you to me. I also took out the recycling, which isn't as bad as the garbage, but
Quite offensive.
Quite offensive, and that's Lyra Valkyria. Caca! She doesn't have anything if it isn't for me. And then the women's Intercontinental champion, Lyra Valkyria, comes out. Lyra says, all you do is recycle your moves. You didn't make me. You went on holidays and everyone got better and I made history. I've defended this more than you showed up for work. You never had any intention of taking anyone to the top. Becky says they didn't have me to compare themselves to when things were getting good because I was gone. It's not my job to bring everybody up, elevate them. It's my job to beat people and win.
Amen.
She says, Sports Illustrated says I'm the greatest of all time.
The best that's ever done it.
Lyra says, keep listing your achievements. You had a lot of firsts, but I'm the first women's Intercontinental champion, and you hate that. As long as I'm here, I hope you like second place. And then
Becky's real mad about that Intercontinental champion. She was the first fucking
SmackDown Women's Champion.
SmackDown, but
she won the first women's main event at WrestleMania.
Right, but she's real butthurt that she's not the first Intercontinental champion.
So Becky goes to attack Lyra. Lyra counters. They go back and forth. The referee separates. Becky gets in the ring and says, you see the disrespect. They fight more in the ring, and then Lyra lays out Becky with a Nightwing. And I have
and then she goes back to her bird feeder.
You have to do the noise.
Caw.
There you go. I like the way you do it better. You have more emphasis on it. I think Becky's going to win the title, but Bayley's going to come out and try to help Lyra, and it's not going to work, and we'll end up getting Becky and Bayley at SummerSlam.
Do you think Bayley's going to come out of Backlash?
Yeah. They've been talking about her way too much ever, just not show up. And then also Becky said this on the Raw podcast afterwards. It's kind of funny. So Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, has this new thing where she's going to charge people $100 where you could text with her. And so Becky makes a comment where she's like, Bayley is so confused that she's willing to pay her friend $100 just to text her.
Wait, who says that?
Becky. And then you see Becky laugh after she says it because she knows it was funny, and she's friends with them both.
When was this comment?
This was on the Raw. They put it on, I think, YouTube and Spotify and stuff like that.
But it wasn't on Raw.
No, she said it's the Raw recap.
I gotta see
It's
that.
the podcast.
Okay.
It's with Sam Roberts and Megan Moran. It's funny. But anyways, I'm excited for the match. I think Becky's going to win. I hope she wins.
Oh, Becky's definitely going to win. She's had that title way too long. And they already took Chelsea's away. So
with the card, I really don't think any of the other champions are going to lose their titles. Because all the other champions just won them. Whereas, like you said, Lyra's been champion for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We then see Roxanne Perez taking on the World Women's Champion Io Sky. Roxanne dives onto Io on the floor, and Io Sky does the same, diving onto Roxanne. Io lands a super arm drag and a missile drop kick. Roxanne hits a back suplex, and then a dragon screw leg whip out of the corner. They do back and forth roll-ups, and Io Sky gets the better of it and defeats Roxanne Perez. After Roxanne offers her hand to shake, they shake hands and bow to each other. Roxanne leaves, and then Giulia attacks Io Sky from behind, and Giulia and Roxanne put the 2-on-1 attack on Io Sky here. What'd you think?
I liked it. I like this a lot. I like Io. I'm thinking we're probably going to see a tag team match with Io and
they
Rhea.
Announced it for Raw. I'm sorry to cut you off. They did. They said next week on Raw it's going to be Io and
Rhea?
I think Io and Rhea against Bayley.
Against Giulia and Stephanie.
Mm-hmm. Not Stephanie, Giulia and Roxanne. And then they also said that again, AJ Styles and Dominik Mysterio. Or I'm sorry, Finn Balor. I'm getting everybody mixed up.
AJ and Finn. Okay,
Next
that's
week.
cool.
Next, we see Rusev defeat Otis with the Alpha Academy.
It's Rusev Day.
Rusev lands a spinning heel kick, and then Otis slams Rusev over the announce desk and tosses him into the ring steps. Rusev lands a super kick and applies the accolade, and Rusev gets the win. After the match, Rusev destroys Alpha Academy, tosses Otis into the ring post, lands a super kick, and applies the accolade again on Otis. What are your thoughts here on everything?
I mean, this is the first I'm seeing of Rusev, so he seems kind of like monsterish. Like, you know, I could see him
Monsterish.
like maybe fighting like Bronson Reed in the future if they ever bring him back. Yeah, I'm excited to see.
Okay. Next, Pat McAfee gets in the ring with Adam Pearce, and Gunther comes out. Gunther says, first of all, do not worry. I'm not going to do anything tonight. Unlike you, I'm professional. Pat says, you mentioned being professional. My friend Michael Cole is a GOAT. For 28 years, he has done it all for this company. He has a right to have an opinion, and you attacked a 6-year-old man. And Mike Cole's just looking like, bitch, you said my age. This city is a symbol of working hard and dreams coming true. Both of us grew up wanting to be in this business. The problem with you, you've done this for 20 years. You've been champion for 80% of your time here. This is a job for you. For me, I get to come out here and live a dream. You don't want it anymore. You got too comfortable. And on Saturday, you're going to underestimate me, just like you did Sami Zayn and who else? Jey Uso. And I'm gonna prove that you're soft. Gunther says, did you enjoy your little girl's birthday party last week? I bet it was a special day for you. You got me in the right mood for Saturday. Don't worry. I promise my full attention's on you because that bell is gonna ring and I'm gonna maul you and choke you out till you drop like a wet towel. Tonight you're untouchable. On Saturday, only the grace of God can lift my arms off your throat. Damn. Gunther won that one.
I'm curious. I feel like somebody might try to help him.
Pat? Well, there's rumors that Gunther might face Goldberg at Night of Champions. But I don't think Goldberg would come out to help Pat. I think Gunther would destroy Pat. Like, Pat does a couple moves, Gunther destroys him, and then he comes down and brags about destroying Pat or whatever, because we have a couple more months to get to till Night of Champions. But then Goldberg is gonna come out, which I hate Goldberg, but he wants to have a retirement match. They've been teasing it, so maybe that's gonna happen at SummerSlam because it's 2 nights this year, so they're gonna make it big. But anyways, what are your thoughts on Pat and Gunther in this promo?
I'm excited to see Pat. I've really only seen like one match with him. I'm like, you know, I don't know I don't think a lot of I've been watching like the predictions for people for Backlash. And a lot of people think he's going to win. I don't think there's any chance of that. But
who? Pat? No,
yeah.
Pat's not gonna win.
Yeah.
If they make Pat win, then Gunther's done. Like, no offense, like Pat's a good wrestler, but like Gunther just lost to Jay.
It would be like Bailey losing to Gunther, like beating Gunther. Like,
oh, Bailey, you know, what? Bailey lose. I'm like, yeah, that would be okay.
So yeah, that's one of the matches I'm looking forward to.
It's gonna be good. Our main event. WWE World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso defending against Seth Rollins, who has Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker in his corner. During the match, both men land a double cross body. Jey lands a Samoan drop. Seth jumps into a super kick for a 2 count. Seth Rollins counters a spear with a pedigree for a 2, and that's always cool when he does that. Seth lands a superplex into a Falcon Arrow, a stomp, and that gets a 2 count. Braun Breaker pretty much distracts Jey on the floor, and then Sami Zayn comes down and attacks Braun. Jey lands a super kick, a spear, and an Uso splashes Seth. Seth kicks out. Braun Breaker spears both Sami and Jey on the floor. Seth hits a stomp, but then CM Punk's music comes out, and Punk attacks Seth Rollins with a steel chair. He goes after Braun Breaker, and CM Punk stands tall to end Monday Night Raw, and Seth Rollins has to be pissed about this. What are your thoughts? Oh, really quick, after Raw went off the air, Logan Paul punched Jey Uso while Jey was like saying goodbye to the crowd.
I think we're going to get Jay and Logan at Backlash.
No, I think we're going to get that Saturday night's main event. They've already promoted it. By now, we're on Wednesday. Pay-per-view is Saturday.
Oh, it's too late. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, would have been good.
So what do you think?
Um,
What's next for CM Punk and Seth Rollins?
I think this will probably go to SummerSlam. I don't know if they're going to do another... I can't see another triple threat. I kind of feel like they should have waited on the triple threat because, I mean, I know they needed it for WrestleMania, but it's kind of like they already all fought each other. Like, we already know who the best is. So,
Who?
Seth already won, you know?
Who? Seth and Punk? But no,
Seth, Punk, and Roman. Like,
well,
I
yeah,
feel like
between
they
the
had...
three, but I mean, they need to Seth and Punk need to have one more match because they fought at the Raw show, the premiere. They did a steel cage.
Seth.
I think Punk won the first night. Then they did a steel cage match, I think, and I think Seth won. I
think Seth won at the Raw. I don't think anyone did. I think Roman got involved. I don't know.
Well, we've covered all of Raw. We've got SmackDown, and then we have Backlash, which is this Saturday in St. Louis, Missouri. Randy Orton and John Cena. That's going to be the main event for that show. So stay tuned as we cover more stuff with WWE. We've got Attitude Years coming your way. We're on the road to SummerSlam 2000. We also have a TNA Rebellion that will be dropping probably Saturday. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. And until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.